What is up, guys? My name is Mckinney. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RC vlog, guys. The Fireteam. I've driven it a lot, actually. I say a lot, probably about 2 hours total, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 battery packs. So I am equipped. I am ready to give you guys a review on the Arrma Fireteam 6S. But before I do, I will tell you that this car was gifted to me. This is not a paid product promotion. That means Arrma's not telling me what to say, nor do they prep me, nor do they say, hey, we give this car, say good things, no bad things. They don't do that. It was gifted to me, but I'm not getting paid. I'm just telling you guys what I think. You'll see that? That bug almost just flew right in the lens. All right, so let's get right to it. We're gonna start with the goods. What I really like about this car. First off, I really like the 7 scale platform. So this is a 1/7 scale vehicle. The reason why I really like it is because you get the stability of an 8S, so your big 8S car. However, you get the speed of a 6S. Basically, it's like driving a super duper fast, huge car. It's awesome. It turns heads like crazy. When I was driving to the park, just going through the field, I wasn't even doing anything crazy. You can't help but look because it's big. You notice it, and it just flies through the field, and you can drive it with confidence because it soaks up all the bumps. It doesn't want to roll. The way the tires have a relatively smaller tread, it doesn't grip as much, so you don't roll too bad. So you can actually just drive it and turn and not have to worry about it. I let Melissa drive it. She didn't roll it either. It's a lot of fun to drive, and it is incredibly stable. In regards to the tires, I really like them. They don't balloon a lot. They didn't feel like they were flexing or anything like that. They caught just enough traction where it was controllable, but lost just enough traction where it was fun to drive. And I think the no air inside, or the no foam inside, and it being like a, I think they call it an airless tire. I think it's awesome. Not one time did I feel like the tires were gonna explode off. Big fan of the tires. I think they're really, really cool. Some of you guys might think this is crazy, but the body, it kind of grew on me, guys. I'm not gonna lie. At first, whenever I first saw the car, not owning it, but seeing it in pictures and on the internet, I was like, the body's a little cheesy. However, seeing it in person, driving it and watching it go through the fields and watching it go off-road, I think the body's really cool. You can actually turn these dudes' heads in here, the little guys' heads in here, and they're holding guns. I mean, also the body gives you a cool opportunity to do some cool first-person view. So I put a camera basically in the back seat, so it's almost like you're riding in the back seat looking through the front, and the camera view really looked like you were in the vehicle. The body, again, it grew on me. It was super cool. Probably one of the things I like the most about this car is I love the power unit in this car. When I say the power unit, I'm talking about the brushless system. It is the Spectrum, I believe it's 150 amp. Actually, I'm gonna check. Yes, the Spectrum 150 amp ESC with a 2050 motor. It is awesome. Probably my most favorite brush system in an RTR car. And the reason is it's really close to my race stuff. So it does feel Hobby Wing based. And I think someone had actually confirmed that it is based off a Hobby Wing. And the way you can tell is whenever you brake, you can actually hear this weird, unique braking noise when you brake. The throttle curve is really, really good. It's very controllable, easy to drive, and really smooth. And there's so much customizability in the ESC with a program box. I didn't change anything because I like it how it is out of the box, but it's nice to know you have that flexibility. And here's a fun fact. This ESC is the exact same ESC I let Mike Battelle borrow when he went to the Dirt Nitro Challenge. And I put it in my budget truck. And in my budget truck, I TQ and won every race. I ran 2 races in my budget truck. I TQ and won every race with it. Mike Battelle borrowed the same ESC, went to the Dirt Nitro Challenge, TQ and won the Dirt Nitro Challenge with it in E-Truggy. And then he just got done TQing and winning the Icebreaker race with the exact same ESC. So the ESC that I let Mike Battelle borrow is the same one that's in the Fireteam, and it's undefeated at races that it's raced at. This is a super underrated brush system. I think if you're building a race vehicle and you don't want to spend a lot of money on your brush system, you can get these for 200 bucks. I'll put a link in the description below, but don't worry about it not being censored. It's super smooth. And the thing about censored is as long as you're moving, you don't really notice it. But the brush system in this thing is awesome. I love it. The e-brake. So this is the first time I've driven a car with the e-brake. The e-brake is cool. It adds a level of fun after you're like, oh, it's okay, I've been driving it back and forth, I've been ripping corners, and you want to change it up a little bit. It adds a little fun to just hit the little e-brake. So when I programmed the e-brake, which you saw at the beginning of this video whenever I was binding it, I think it's channel G. You have to, I kind of played around with the auxiliary channels on my DX5C. However, I did get it to work with my DX5C. And basically, you can be driving it and doing a turn, and you just kind of tap that e-brake, and it will just whip the end of the car around, and you can control it. It is definitely fun. I did catch myself after I was driving it around, really just seeing how far I could push it with the e-brake. But it adds an element of fun and difficulty driving this car. It's awesome. I think it's a cool little addition to a vehicle. All right, moving on to the things I didn't like about the car. I said I like the body. I do like the body design, but what I didn't like about the body is it's not super easy to put on. And maybe it's not fair because I just got done doing stuff with the sledge, and the sledge is probably the easiest body to install and put on ever. Like literally the easiest body I've ever put on. So this one, the reason why it's kind of difficult to put on is, one, it's a little big and bulky, and there's just these little holes where you got to kind of line it up to these pegs in there. So if you don't know that, you're kind of like scooting around and trying to figure out how to mount the body. The first few times I put the body on, it was kind of a pain. Now I'm used to it and I know where to look, but the body isn't the easiest to put on. And not just putting the body on, but the body, this is going to be a weird complaint, but I'm just telling you how it is, because especially if you're a kid, this will be a problem. The body clips are really, really strong and tough, which is good because your body won't fall off, but bad because they're actually relatively hard to slide on. Another thing about the body is I highly doubt there are body options. Not that I would want to change this body, but the way the body mounts work is there's one big body mount in the front, and I get it, maybe you can put the Creighton ones on, and then two in the back. And this one in the front is a huge body mount. So there's probably not very many body options. Also, the bumpers kind of integrate with the body, so you're not going to have a lot of flexibility there. Now, with that said, I wouldn't take this body off. I'm actually going to keep the body on there because I think it looks really, really cool, and I like that element of the car. But it is kind of a pain if you are one of those hobbyists that want to do a custom build, or you want to make it look like your actual car, or you just have another body that you like. It's probably not going to be the easiest one to throw on without replacing bumpers, body posts, things like that. Another thing that I felt was a little weird, I'll say difficult, weird, kind of, was the way the car jumps. And I think the reason why it jumps weird is a combination between the suspension being super soft and the body being super heavy. So I felt like the jumping was unpredictable. And what I mean by that is anytime I hit a jump, some jumps would be perfectly fine. I would do it. But then some jumps would really buck the back end of the car up. And I've dealt with bucking of the back end of the car up on tracks. And usually what you do is you can stiffen the shock wheel and that will get rid of it. Or you can take some skid plates out the bottom, stuff like that. But the jumping was really unpredictable. So as soon as you started feeling confident and you want to start hitting jumps, I felt like it was really weird. Like I wasn't sure what it was going to do. And I really wasn't sure what it was going to do whenever it landed. Because the tires are really, really big. And I get why they make the servo saver soft because of the big tires. And it is running standard servo. You don't want to strip the servo. But it was a little, like, I wasn't sure what it was going to do when it landed or jumped. I wasn't super confident hitting jumps with this thing. And then lastly, not lastly, but one of the lastly points is back to the body. As much as I like the body, and I've already said a few things about the body, it does look kind of toyish. What I mean by that is whenever I go to the park and I drive RC cars, if I'm driving something that looks like a truggy, it looks like something that I might race, or it looks very hobby grade and heavy duty. This actually kind of looks like you just got it at Walmart. You didn't. Does not perform like that at all. Not even the slightest bit. But it looks like it. So until people actually see it running, they're going to be like, oh my God, this kid's out here playing with a toy. Just my opinion, being super honest. Now the real last thing I didn't like about it, and I'm just going to, it's not even that I didn't like about it, but it's kind of bothering me, is I did break it. I did break it. So again, going back to the jumps being unpredictable, they are unpredictable. And I hit a jump, it was a jump that I've hit a few times, and basically the back end bucked up and I had a first person view, so you guys will actually see it in a video with you in the car. Basically the back end bucked up, and it just nose dove. And honestly, when it nose dove, the thing that I was thinking in my head, just like my Creighton EXB, was probably the bumper broke. But as I walked up to it, it was broken. So basically what broke is the pillow ball in the front. I'll show you guys real quick. And I got a close-up of it, but this pillow ball in the front here, it popped out of the bearing carrier / caster block thing. So I thought a lot of times when that happens, you can just put it back in there. The actual bearing carrier did break, so I couldn't put it back together and drive it anymore. So the truck is out of commission at the moment. I did, again, this is going back to kind of the reason why I run some of the cars I run. And what I always tell people whenever they ask me what car they should buy is buy what your local hobby shop supports. I called the 2 local hobby shops to me. No one has it. No one has the part. I know, it sucks. So this car / truck has been out of commission in my garage for about 2 days now. I'm about to place an order for just a whole bunch of parts for Arma cars. A lot of them are interchangeable, which is good, but it does kind of suck that it broke. With that said, let's be clear, this is a big vehicle. This is a big vehicle. It's a fast vehicle. It has a crap ton of power, but it's almost inevitable. It's almost impossible if you're not driving it to its full potential that something won't break. Almost every car I have has broken. Actually, every car I have has broken. But they're all reasonable things. And I think this is a reasonable thing. These are the things that I would buy if I needed to buy spares. So I don't ding this as a bad part of the car. What does frustrate me is the fact that my local hobby shops don't support it, which is why it's hard for me to go all in. But yes, the car did break. And I gotta wait like a couple of weeks for the parts to come in. So some things I would improve on the car. I definitely would stiffen the suspension. I like the plush suspension, but if you really want to go hard and drive it really, really hard and hit some really good jumps, I think you should maybe go a little bit thicker in shock oil, maybe even go through it to a piston with a little bit more pack. That's something I want to improve. Maybe even a stiffer spring, but the suspension's soft and makes it fun to drive, but not ideal for jumping. And I do think there's a medium there, and you could probably tune it where you could get a little bit of both. The other thing I would recommend is going thicker on center diff fluid. It did diff out a lot. I did notice it would try to squat, but as soon as it squat, the front tires would unload. So it was diffing out a lot. I don't know what's in the center. Usually they put like 10 or maybe 20K in the center. But I think in this case, maybe even go 40, 50K. It might only be 10K. And if that's the case, at least doubling it. But I would want to go thicker in the center diff fluid. It's going to give it a lot more drive. And I bet you it would be way faster too. So my final thoughts on the vehicle is it's a great vehicle. I really like it. It fits my style. Like, I'm not the guy that wants to launch the car 5,000 feet in the air or slam it into brick walls or jumping off buildings or jump over a house. I like cars that I can see the suspension and the engineering in the car work. That's what's rewarding to me. This car fits my driving style really well. It's a dream to drive. It's like driving, it's almost like driving a Mercedes. Like, it's just so plush and so sweet through the fields and bumps and things like that. The first person view camera thing, that footage is super cool. Like, I couldn't get enough of that. I could have done that all day. And you're going to see a lot of it in this video because I just think it's so freaking awesome. But overall, the truck is enjoyable, but not ideal for you really hardcore bashers out there. Definitely recommend it if you're a hobbyist and you just want something cool that on the shelf and fun to drive. Man, this thing, thumbs up. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Once I get this thing fixed, I am going to do more videos with it. Definitely maybe some shorts with the first person view because I think it's so freaking cool. What I really wanted to do was like take it through the woods on some trails like relatively fast, go through water and things like that as first person view because man, it's probably some of the coolest first person view video I've ever shot. Well, I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.